Welcome back to the program, everybody. The name of this program is called It's a Conspiracy, but It Ain't No Theory. My name is Adrienne Alice, and I am on the front lines battling this military deception and the lies of the enemy, so I wanted to deliver upon you some truth. So the states that are most involved with these conspiracies pertaining to fatal car accidents would be Texas, number 1, California, number 2, and then Florida, number 3. I think it's kind of ironic that so many Hollywood celebrities moved to Texas and tried to encourage so many other people to do the same at the beginning of COVID. The leader of the occult definitely comes from Texas, California, and Florida. So that would be all of the celebrities you see in Hollywood or the politicians. And so definitely trying to lure you into a death zone. And I would suggest that you don't go to any of those states at all, especially if you're a targeted individual like myself. A type of audio visual product known as SIACT includes agents of action who carry out plays in the presence of the TA. Every single channel of communication the targeted audience uses for information is interfered with. So that's why anything you Google, you have to question. In PSYOPs, themes are used to transmit painful stimuli, also called triggers, through all her channels of communication, which a target audience or target individual has been sensitized to. So I'm going to briefly review general. General is active passive surveillance, spying, domestic espionage, domestic servitude, hacking, phishing, data breach, data theft, etc. General active passive surveillance is watching a target covertly to obtain information about the target. But what do they need information for? Active surveillance can include information gathering, but it also includes the agent making the target aware they are under surveillance. Beyond active surveillance, agents perform acts to keep the target uncomfortable around the clock. So, like you see in Monsters, Inc., fear farming, scare tactics. Although operations are silently approved of and covered for by the official justice system, they are not seen as criminal in nature by citizens who do not have a strong sense of right and wrong. So they're just psychopaths who don't have a conscience. Agents must take great care that each and every act of punishment is deniable, which is why they need to be photographed. They need to be caught on video every single time. This means that should the target complain to police or any other officials or friends or neighbors, family members or doctors, the nature of the punishment must be seen as the target's overactive imagination, or better yet, an indication that the target is mentally ill. The system has been blessed with advanced technology, which enables heavy punishment. At times, the target is in their homes, silently through walls, and this is very deniable. The system has worked for years to recruit the medical establishment to help maintain deniability, and today most targets are immediately labeled as mentally ill and often forced onto antipsychotic medication when they complain until they overdose or die of an overdose. Forced onto antipsychotic medication when they complain. I don't know any trafficker. I don't think I've ever heard of or ever known of any trafficker that doesn't force their victim to take drugs to the point where they overdose. All right, and so the devices were designed as a weapon to basically exploit all of us. All right, and so of course surveillance is just another form of exploitation. Exploitation is a form of warfare. And then every single thing that the target is doing, every phone call they make, every time they get on the internet, every time they use the internet, they are being intercepted. If they go out on a date or whatever it may be, they're probably more than likely dating an undercover agent. So that's very interesting. And of course, this chapter 18, in a nutshell, is all about military deception and sabotage. All right, and so I wanted to mention how I had court on Tuesday and how everything that is important to you as a targeted individual, I know it is to me, this is my experience, it's exploited as a vulnerability, and the trafficker will always use brainwashing mechanisms to try to get you to forget that you have court on the day that you're supposed to be there so that they can try to get you in trouble. So there's this operation going on behind the scenes, and everybody out here thinks they're so cool. They're not. They're fucking so corrupt. And so it's my job now to expose this hidden enemy. So these same people that are trying to brainwash me into forgetting my court dates are also trying to fabricate lies and report things with no evidence. So if you don't have the evidence to back up your claims, you need to be investigated, because you're trying to use the system to traffic children. And the only thing you're exposing is yourself for being a child trafficker. So yeah, so it's been a long battle. And so people who are guilty for directed energy crimes, they like to conceal their crimes by trying to make their victim guilty of the crimes they know they've committed. So this is all a scapegoating satanic ritual. And reporting somebody without having the evidence to support your claims is actually a felony. And that's a crime. You're straight up criminal for that. All right, so one of the things that I wanted to go over is how the gang stalker, boyfriend, trafficker, occultist, how they, other than the fact that they will brainwash you and try to get you to forget important dates, like really important dates that will inevitably lead to your arrest. Like, this person literally told me my court date was on Thursday so many times I actually believed them. And then I couldn't sleep on the day that I had court, which was this past Tuesday. And luckily I made it, because had it been up to them, I would have missed it and I would have had a warrant, and I probably would be sitting in jail right now. And I know that this little fit of rage that I'm experiencing today is a direct result of them being angry and throwing a little fit like a toddler, because they tried and failed again to sabotage me. This is all illegal. This is all ritual abuse. Alright, and so a big part of the gang stalking or the gang stalking hypersimulation is military deception. MILDEC, MILDIS, military deception. It probably sounds funny when I say it, but bear with me. So, again, deceiving is the name of the game in a nutshell. If I would have listened to my boyfriend, who's on the opposing side, I would have missed my court date. I would have had nobody but to blame but myself. You see, and that's how they go about setting up a psychological gas chamber. This is what traffickers do. This is what trafficking and exploitation actually is. It has nothing to do with what they're doing over there or who's doing what. No, this is it. This is it. That's why I advocate so hard. That's why I go so hard. And so these false reports need to be investigated. I have the evidence to prove my case one way or another, and they want me to take a plea deal, and I basically told them to kiss my ass, and they tried to blackmail me too. They were in sync, wearing green. One of them was wearing a green shirt, the other one was wearing a similar type of thing, same as that color shirt. So, you know, this is how they they attack in sync. I've already gone over this tons of times, and I've proved the evidence. All of it. So like I said, I can make the claims that I'm making because I have the evidence to back it up. And brainwashing somebody is a crime. Making false reports is a crime. So if you're going to go about doing these things, you at least better have some evidence to prove that what you're saying is correct or actual or factual, because if not, you're a criminal who is actually guilty and responsible for crimes, and you're trying to deflect the matter. All right, and so if you love somebody, then you should at least make sure to remind them of the correct court date, or else you don't really love that person. You're entirely full of shit. What else can I say? When I phoned it in, I said the truth. And I'm not even getting any help whatsoever. This is all an attempt to get him to attack me or to eventually kill me, or one way or the other. This is what they do. This is what the military-industrial complex does. They're experts at it. They're experts at it. They can make a man cheat on his wife, cause jealousy, and now there could be a serious crime. These are organized crimes. This is my point. This is why I do my show. This is why I go so hard. All of this is organized. All of this is orchestrated and premeditated ahead of time. Not one single thing is not a crime. It's all a crime. It's a crime to lie. It's a crime to deceive. It's a crime to brainwash. And love bombing is brainwashing. You're going to sit over here and have an argument with who loves who most, and you're sitting over here lying to the person you supposedly love, trying to brainwash them so they will forget when they have court. I'm so fucking tired of dealing with this shit because I know that my words are true and what I'm saying is true. I have the evidence to prove it. I've been proving it on my show. Every time I do a show, I prove it again and again and again and again. And if you read the small print, you can see how there's an agenda to incriminate the target. That's not a secret. It's very clandestine, but all of these covert narcissists are being exposed on my show. And another thing, too, is all of these psyops are designed to deprive the target. So, if you're deprived, if these are all effective, and they should be, there's no reason why they shouldn't be, you shouldn't even be able to make it to court. So we're living in this new world order where people are jealous. People who are jealous of your Facebook photos can literally just falsely report anything on you for the simple fact that they're jealous, which is a hate crime. Jealousy is a form of hate.